Well, it looks like we are live, guys. If somebody in the chat could go ahead and let me know how my audio is doing. That would be very helpful. See who we got here. Hey, what's up, bloke? Bloke, your channel's doing wonderful, man. Looks like you found your niche. Holding it down for your countrymen, man. I really like it. I'm liking the numbers that I see over there. Great job. Good job, blokester. Welcome back, Arch. One of my favorite members. Nish Kanish. Welcome. We are glad to have you. Ruckus. What's going on, Ruckus? I know you're somewhere causing some ruckus. CJK, what's up? Jari, good to see you. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of allergies today, so I got like this phlegminess going on in the back of my throat every now and then. Don't mind me. Hey, what's up, D? Miss Thang, Night Shadow? Did you guys get into the Discord okay? All you members? Good to see you guys. Carol Murray? Bird Blue. Olivia, Jill. Hey, Anthony. What's going on out there? What's going on out there in Indiana? Good to see you, Beach. Good to see you, Jill. Jari. Hey, Teresa. Always good to see you. Camaro Lover. Hello. Anthony says, I see old Rick Snay is trying to start some shit. What an a-hole. No, he's not. He's feeling slighted. Hey, Susan. From Oz. Is that HBO prison? What are you doing there? I thought they blew that up. Or is it the Yellow Brick Road? Hey, what's up, Copper? Hope you got your link. Polygraph. Beth Gonzalez, what's up? Grunge Truck. Seems like Bryan was reverse engineering how to get away with killing, but he underestimated law enforcement. Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect crime. You know? And this dude was just way too sloppy. But that's what happens with these egomaniacs, right? In their head, they're able to convince themselves because their ego's getting in the way. The ego's like, ah, nah, you got this. You did everything right. Trust me. You're way smarter than these people. Jari says, what's Snay screaming at you about? Who cares? Good to see everybody. Sparky Dew. Good to see you. Gene Jackson. Hi, Sleuth, and everyone in the chat. I'm new to chat, but always watch. Well, welcome, Gene. Baby steps, man. Before you know it, you'll be up here joining me live. Getting it all off your chest. What's up, James? Good to see you, Kiwi. As always, peace to you. Thank you. It's all about them positive vibrations. There's my guy, Brad, from Outside of the Grid. Great channel. Make sure you guys go check that out. Yeah, he does a lot of great interviews there. and he covers Delphi. Hey, Gal. Good to see you. Australia in the house. Welcome. What time is it over there? It's pretty late. You throwing back a six pack like me? I don't know. My wife surprised me. She knows I only like 3 different beers and she got me Stella. I'll take it. I'll take it any day. Hey, Cynthia. Good to see you, Mandy. Hey, Mark Collins. Hey, I saw you over there in somebody else's chat talking shit earlier, but I decided to let you stay because I don't think we should be as creators, we shouldn't be taking it out on you, even though I did block like 6 other people. Mark's getting a pass. Maybe he can start thinking for himself. How early? Is it super early? Like beginning of a work schedule early? Hey, Melissa. Good to see everybody. Slatherings? Not quite yet. This is my second one and it's still full. But I realized that I skipped lunch. And when you get old, you can't do that and still have a beer. You get a tummy ache. So I ran down and scarfed down a couple things real quick. I almost didn't make it in here. It's getting a little frisky with the old lady. Well, good to see everybody. Yeah, a lot of new information in regards to the Idaho murders and Bryan Kohberger. And I want to go over this information with you guys because I know that you have been keeping up on this case more than I have. But I did spend a whole lot of time over the last week here trying to catch up and trying to see if there's any new developments. And yeah, there was a handful. We're going to talk about it. Good to see you, Angela, Digi, Donnie, Marie. Hello. Gelhert said, I think I'll start drinking. A youngin'? I'm in my 40s. Oh, and somebody was saying I was trying to hide. Like this is how I rock my shit. So, and people act like I've never come on a live stream without my hat or my glasses. So let's go ahead and give them something to chew on. Mike Polka. Take a picture, motherfucker. It'll last longer. Any which way but loose, right? Brad saying the thing that has been interesting to me about the Bryan Kohberger case is the prototype concept. The prototype being the person he loathed the most. Well, who was that? He seemed like he had an okay family. I mean, he's okay, right? Going cross country with his father. He obviously doesn't loathe him. I mean, what is this really all about? To me, it's a Jared Fogle type situation. You got the chubby kid, being made fun of constantly, incessantly. And now it's time for retribution, revenge. But I don't know. That's just from the outside looking in. That's very paper thin. And I'm not trying to make those qualifications. That's just my opinion. Mark says, "Yeah, I said you and Frank was talking about him thing. He said he told him, no, man, I read what you said. You don't got to put it on there. It's okay. It's all right. We all share subscribers. It's not your fault that somebody's a lunatic." Thanks, Leslie. Shit, I need to do something with my hair. It's getting long. I like to wear hats because of the way I have it. It's like really long on the top. And if I don't comb it, it just kind of fucking flops around. I love Too Short. Yeah, but we're not here to bash other creators. We're not going to do that. We handle our business and then we keep moving. Onward. Don't apologize, Mark. Just stand your ground, man. Stand your ground. You ain't got nothing to prove to us. Stick to your morals, buddy. Unlike the other 15 people I had to block for being hypocritical, two-faced people. It is what it is. Hey, Rescue. Just wanted to drop in and say hi. Sorry I can't stay. Oh, that's too bad. Well, make sure you holler at me. We'll chat it up. I don't know if Snake is cray. That's just who he is, man. It's like what do they say? Like your cup of tea. I don't have any hatred towards the guy, and I'm sure he doesn't have any hatreds towards me. Yeah, Mark, we got plenty going on, man. This dude is a lunatic. And to me, the things that grab my interest when it comes to true crime is the mystery of it all. Um, you see these crimes and you find ways to relate and how you can try to take care of your family and learn from it. But it's really the mystery for me about all of this. I just want to try to understand what is going on there, what's hiding in that mystery. And right now we got new information about Bryan that kind of adds to that mystery of who he is, what he is. Has he done this before? Um, and I'm really not sure. I get this impression that a lot of these people that get caught for murder and law enforcement's like they only think it's their first time, but these guys could have been all over the country doing a lot of bad things. Hey, what's up, Frank? Good to see you. Hey, Rebecca. So let's get into it. I had everything organized, but we got a little distracted yesterday for good reasons. So hopefully we can put this together coherently. Let's see, where should we start? Okay, I think this is a good place to start. Bam. These are the items that were seized from the Kohberger's residence. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Diamonds. Jean. He's or she's? Whoa, I figured you were just a reptilian. Can't believe you had a real face. Maybe it's a hologram. How do you know? Oops. Yeah, I don't got no problems with Snake. You can't tell by the way he acts he has some screws loose? No, I just think he has some insecurities. And I don't think he's afraid of a whole lot. So when you have insecurities, you just react. Some people don't give a shit if they mess up, you know? It's just like another mess up. They don't care. They're not trying to prevent it. Hey Jane, good to see you. It's been a minute. That's not nice, did you? That's not nice at all. Mark Collins says, "Last I heard, he was being looked at for some other girls that disappeared." Yeah, he's being questioned, and not only that, but since this happened, the BTK Dennis Rader is now under investigation for a cold case that he was questioned about years ago. So I'm wondering if they have new evidence or maybe some kind of correspondence between Kohberger and Rader. But I think that Rader's daughter said, "I don't think that he's responsible for that murder." Yeah, they subpoenaed his parents about a cold case out of Pennsylvania, and that's just really scary. Like, who really knows if this guy's going to come out and tell us everything that he did? I have a feeling that if he did other things, that he would tell us because he looks up to the BTK and criminology and all that kind of stuff, and it seems like he might want the recognition. Psychopath, sociopath, narcissist. I'm not sure. I just think it's really strange that he was kind of like a really chubby kid. I don't know if he was bullied and he just one day said, "You know what? Um, I'm going to take the power back, and this is how I'm going to do it. I have an interest in these iconic murderers, these subculture iconic individuals, and maybe that he decided that's the way he's going to get it back. He's going to be like them." BTK went into security. Bryan Kohberger went into security. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I mean, I find it strange that he's going to college halfway across, completely across the country, not halfway. The fuck am I saying? Completely across on the other side of the country, most likely to study under, um, what's her name? Is it Rumsland? I might be getting that wrong. But his professor who helped with the autobiography of Dennis Rader, who is one of the most savage and notorious serial killers known to the world. I mean, this guy he was a pure monster. And you got this sick guy over here looking up to him, and some crazy woman who knows might be relaying messages, might be nurturing Brian, trying to guide him down a path where he's not going to get arrested. I don't know. I'm getting real Dexter vibes from that whole situation. That's all. Welcome back, Ruckus. All right, let's go through this list of items here. Let's see. One nitrate type black glove, one Walmart receipt with one Dickies tag, two Marshalls receipts, dust container from Bissell Power Force vacuum, 8 possible hair strands, one Fire TV stick with cord and plug, One possible animal hair strand, one possible hair, one computer tower, one collection of dark red spot collected without testing, two cutting from uncased pillow of reddish brown stain, larger stain tested, two top and bottom of mattress cover packages separately, both labeled C, multiple stains, one tested. Rebecca says, I have tremendous amount of respect for how law enforcement handled this case. I mean, I do too, especially when compared to the Delphi case. You got to wonder. But the Delphi case was 6 years before the Idaho murders. I'm sure that they've had an opportunity to update some of their tactics and strategies and technology and things that they're using. Slathering says he doesn't look at all worried in court. I wonder if he doesn't look worried because he knew that this would all be part of it. He could have been preparing for this. Like this is just something I have to go through um, in order to end up in the place that I would always be, right? In prison, death row. Like a lot of these people, they accept that. I just think he was expecting to have more of a run at being, I guess, a serial killer. Teresa says, I don't understand why tons of people think he's innocent. Who, Richard Allen or this guy? There's no way this guy's innocent. RS, yeah, we're not talking about that. We're over that. Crime scene techs would go nuts in my home. 1 billion Pomeranian hairs, a trillion feline hairs, gopher parts. Why are there parts? From where the cat snuck in dinner. Oh, snap. Your cat is a savage. And technically, those parts belong to you. I'm sure they're gifts from the critter. I do not think he's killed before. I think he's like BTK and the Otero family. But I think the Ray, yeah, it kind of does remind me of the Otero family. Like his first time. I don't know. Yeah, it could have been his first time. From the story we've recently heard that I'm going to tell you guys here in a minute, it does seem like he was evolving, that he didn't really get that far. So let me organize my thoughts here for a second. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about the evidence first. Let's see. Here's part of an article. According to Dateline, Kohberger reportedly bought a K-bar knife and sheath in April of 2022 from Amazon before he moved to Pullman, Washington to attend university. Kohberger was arrested some 6 weeks after killing at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. Police seized items including clothing, medical gloves, a cheek swab for DNA collection. The warrant also shows Kohberger was being surveilled while in Pennsylvania and was tracked using his cell phone. According to Dateline, one of Kohberger's sisters found it odd he was wearing latex gloves at home, and at one point noticed that Kohberger lived near the scene of the killings and drove a white Hyundai Elantra, the same type of car for which police were said to be searching. Yeah, so even his sister was like, dude, like, man, you're looking suspect right now, bro. Like, what are you doing? You're wearing rubber gloves. Like, how? I just don't understand. You're wearing rubber gloves, but yet you bought your murder weapon on Amazon. So I just don't understand how this guy could be so prepared yet not consider that. Is it because he bought it in Pennsylvania? He's like, there's just no way they're going to track it. Now, did he buy that knife knowing that he was going to use it in the future to attack somebody? It's another question. Beach Fairy says, definitely interesting. He's literally 1 degree of separation away from BTK. Wouldn't be hard to figure a way through his profession. Yeah, Jari, I think so. I don't know if he liked it the same way because if I don't know if you read the BTK's biography or his daughter's book. I've read parts of it. It doesn't seem like he was trying to like follow anybody's footsteps. He wasn't trying to be a killer. It's almost like he had something that was inside of him that he couldn't control. He tried his best, and it just, it was like the movie Venom. It just controlled him. Now with Kohberger, he looks at that guy's situation and he wants to be like him. He seems like a copycat to me. Yep, I agree. Because they're the ones that don't care about their own lives. These are the people that they don't want to live. They hate themselves and they want to take as many of us as they can with them so they could care less. They have no faith in God. They have no faith in humanity. They have no faith in brotherhood. They just have no faith. It's all over with. It's revenge time. They're all about me, 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 me. What did you do to me and what I'm going to do because of what you've done to me? Okay, so I pulled about let's see, 2 articles. We're going to talk about the situation with Bryan Kohberger a few months prior to him committing this murderous act against these innocent kids, these innocent young people. Um, he was practicing and stalking and trying to figure out a way um, to commit these types of murders. Here, let me just read this article. I think this will explain it the best. Before we do this, let me finish my thought. I forgot I had this. So the BTK cell was recently ransacked like a week ago. And let me read part. This is a real small part of a much larger article. Rader, who was serving a life sentence for murdering 10 people over the course of 2 decades before his capture in 2005, revealed to Fox News that his cell has been tossed and belongings were taken in the midst of a reopened case. The BTK killer is being investigated in connection to the unsolved disappearance of Cynthia Dawn Kinney. Kinney was a 16-year-old cheerleader when she went missing and was last seen leaving her aunt and uncle's laundromat on June 23rd of 1976. In April, Osage County Sheriff Eddie Verdon and 2 other investigators visited the killer at the El Dorado Correctional Facility in Kansas. He was questioned over the disappearance of Kinney and that of Shauna Garber, 53, on Halloween in 1990. Garber was raped and strangled and was found dead a month after her disappearance in Missouri, but she was not identified until 2021. The BTK killer denied involvement in both of the cold cases, saying he was done talking with the sheriffs and had enjoyed meeting the 2 investigators. Once back to his cell, he realized that it had been ransacked and items had been seized. He said everything that I had wrote on or kept was gone. Later that day, one box returned with no reason why. So I feel like they're onto something. Like they may have found a letter, something within their search that Bryan was communicating with Dennis Rader. And maybe Dennis Rader gave him some tips and said, "Hey, look, there's some cases that they don't even know I committed. So don't worry about it. They don't know everything." Now let's pop this one on the screen in case you guys want to read along. This was from Fox News. Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger allegedly stalked another female student months before the massacre. What was the name of the professor who interviewed BTK and taught Bryan Kohberger? I want to say Ramslin. Ramslin? Let me look it up real quick. Catherine Ramsland. See if I can pull up her photo. So yeah, there she is. Catherine Ramsden, represented by John Silbersack. Dr. Catherine Ramsland teaches forensic psychology at DeSales University in Pennsylvania. So he must have studied with her in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, correction. I felt like that was incorrect information when I said it. I was going to look back at that. Where she is the assistant provost. She has appeared on more than 200 crime documentaries and magazine shows, is an executive producer of Murder House Flip, and has consulted for CSI, Bones, and The Alienist, the author of more than 1,500 articles and 69 books, including The Forensic Science of CSI, The Forensic Psychology of Criminal Minds, How to Catch a Killer, The Psychology of Death Investigations, and Confessions of a Serial Killer. The Untold Story of Dennis Rader, the BTK Killer. She was co-executive producer for the Wolf Entertainment A&E documentary based on the years she spent talking with Rader. Ramsden consults the death investigation, pens a blog for Psychology Today. Pens a blog, sorry, and is writing a fiction series based on a female forensic psychologist who manages an investigative. Well, that's her. Let's get back to this article. Actually, let me catch up on this chat real quick. Yes, the Otero family. BTK was thinking about killing since he was 18. Jeez. And a lot of his targets were picked through his security job, I believe. He would go and install the security for them, and then he would target them. Pure psychopath. Hey, tax cut. Other people don't exist. Other people exist for your, yeah. They're not even like, it's almost like the psychopath isn't a person. He's like this being that's walking amongst people. Like a demonically possessed person. It's mega creepy to me that Maddie and Kaylee were super blonde like Kohberger's sister. And his attorney, who I fear for. Really? Wanda says, I think the fascination Kohberger had with serial killers and the fame they received, maybe he thought he could get by with it. Maybe he left clues to get caught. So bizarre. Well, there's stories from his people that went to school with him, and they say he was just like this, like one person. And then I think like a year and a half or two went by, and they ran into him again. He was completely different. He was in boxing. He was running a lot. He was much skinnier. He was pursuing careers in law enforcement, all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, and they recently discovered his application, his security job application. We're going to talk about that. The things that he puts in that application about himself after knowing what we know now is pretty terrifying. It's like all the signs were there. All right, let's go ahead and go through this. Bryan Kohberger allegedly stalked a female classmate at Washington State University months before he would be accused of killing 4 undergrads at the neighboring University of Idaho. According to a new report, it was an apparent ruse that ended with Kohberger installing surveillance cameras in the woman's home, which he could then access at will. The woman says, I was surprised to learn more details about the alleged break in and camera installation. Carrie Rawson. Oh, this is from Carrie Rawson, BTK's daughter. I was surprised to learn more details about the alleged break in and camera installation, Carrie Rawson, the daughter of a serial killer Dennis Rader, told Fox News Digital. If it's true and Bryan was involved, then it's really a sign of escalation and another potential nail in his guilt, said Rawson, now a victim's advocate who appeared in the NBC report Friday. The report also detailed a bizarre incident involving women's underwear just 3 doors down from the King Road home months before the murders. In the most ominous claim, it was suggested Kohberger's immediate family feared he might be the suspect as they gathered for the holidays. The suspicions ended in a pre-dawn raid on December 30th, 2022, when Kohberger was arrested for the murders of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Zaina Kernodle, and Ethan Chafin. A female friend Kohberger met last fall at Washington State University in his criminology program reportedly came home to find her belongings shuffled out of place. Nothing was stolen, according to NBC sources, so she did not report it to police. Instead, she asked Kohberger, who previously worked as a security guard and already had a master's degree in criminal justice, to set up a home surveillance system. Afterward, according to an unnamed source cited by Dateline, Kohberger could access the cameras anytime he was within the woman's Wi-Fi range. Well, that sounds familiar. Kohberger, while obtaining a master's degree in criminal justice from DeSales University, studied under Dr. Catherine Ramsland, an expert on serial killers, mass murderers, and Rawson's father, also known as a BTK, bind, torture, kill. Like Kohberger, Rader had also studied criminal justice. He eventually found work at ADT, the security company, installing home security systems. I believe if Kohberger did break into a young woman's home and then offered to install a security system and cameras, then access the password as Dateline reports, it's a sign of escalation and further descent along the scale of deviation. Another overlapping similarity to my father, a sexual sadist psychopath, Rawson said. Yeah, and I wonder if that's the same thing that I wonder if that was the motivation behind it all for Bryan Kohberger. I wonder if any of it was for sexual pleasure. I wonder if he was what do they call that? A deviant, a secretor, or a deviant? You know, all those things. Hey, Diamonds, does Bryan Kohberger have any close friends that have been interviewed by content creators regarding his character? Yeah, I think CD might have interviewed somebody that knows him. I could be wrong. That's a good question. I know News Nation interviewed a couple people that he went to school with. Hey, Lone Pony. Anna says one possible animal hair. In my house, they'd be trying to guess how many different animal species contribute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's sad. I could literally run my hand across my floor right now and pull up a ball of hair. We got 4 dogs and 2 cats. And I almost broke and got another puppy the other day. It's hard. Yeah, we don't need to talk about him. We don't got nothing against him. We're just gonna we just treat people like they treat us. That's it. That's all we do. Treat us like shit. When the opportunity comes for payback, that's what happens. To be such a big brain, it is as if he wanted to get caught. He may be working on some kind of a weird so-called self-study. I think this article, I think comes out of Yahoo. We're gonna catch him on the chat real quick. Yeah, they did have him real quick. I was very impressed with the investigation. The fact that they were willing to ask people to send in their Ring camera and their security camera footage and all that kind of stuff. Um, I was impressed with that part of it for sure. What's up, Railroad? Good to see you. Hey, if you want to jump back in on the Discord, keep an eye out for the link. I'm going to drop it tonight for you. If you need to, shoot me an email and I'll give you one directly. Grunge says he wanted to get caught for the attention. I think he did. If he's a copycat, he's becoming a copycat because he saw all the attention that the BTK got. Not only that, he got Bryan Kohberger's admiration. I think he just wanted to crawl from obscurity. You know? Good to see you, Grunge Truck. That's a good point. Some people can be book smart and have no common sense. Yeah, it doesn't seem like he spent much time on the streets. You can learn a lot as a kid. Growing up in the 80s the way I did, I mean, I was basically this kid running free, you know? Playing football all day at the church, the local schools, neighborhoods, the street, hide and seek. And we were running from kidnappers. It was like a game we played. If we were walking out on the streets and a creepy van was creeping up, we're like, "Ooh, here comes the kidnapper." Like it was fucking weird. We just weren't scared then. It's different now. People are weirder. Anthony France says, I think Brian thought he was smarter than law enforcement and everyone else. I think so too. And like I said, I've been saying it since I started my channel. The same thing that causes these people to kill is the same thing that gets them caught in the end. Because I mean, think about it. This idiot bought a knife on Amazon and used it to commit a quadruple homicide and then leaves the sheath there. Like, you freaking idiot. But in his mind, he's probably thinking, oh, well, they're not smart enough to tie me. I did everything I was supposed to do to make sure they couldn't tie any of this to me. Boy, was he wrong. Yeah, Beach Fairy says, how dodgy do you have to be for your own sister to suspect you? Most family members think their loved ones are innocent. Yet she was apparently on his case. Well, she probably knew he was kind of strange. And to me, that's a dead giveaway. What the fuck are you doing wearing rubber gloves? Like, I mean, how more obvious can it get? It's almost like he didn't care. He's like, I know I'm being watched, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull like a Ted Bundy. You remember when he knew he was being watched and he was washing his car? He was taking his carpet out of his apartment. He was basically getting rid of all of this evidence right in front of the investigators. It was torturous for them. They would just sit there in 24-hour shifts watching him wipe away all this evidence, knowing that he's a cold-blooded killer. So I'm wondering if he was doing some cocky shit like that. Like, I know they're watching me. They can watch me in my gloves. Yeah, that's a big knife. Mark says there's cameras everywhere nowadays, and it's easy to leave an electronic trail. People tend to not realize that, but thankful they don't. Yeah, These people who commit murders, they might be really book smart, but for you to go out and kill a person, you're already a fucking idiot, right? You're already missing a few screws. They're not loose. It's like they weren't added. They just weren't there for you. You were at the end of the production line and they were missing a few screws. I got some gray hair in my beard. Anna says, too bad BK's middle name isn't Thomas or Terrence or starts with a T. Then he could be another BTK. Shit, he already is. He's a copycat. The thing about the BTK is he was a real monster. You know, he wasn't a copycat. He was like two people, it seems. He was this normal guy, and then he had this monster that would just come alive and kind of take him for the ride. Cynthia says, Sleuth Intuition, you look like the twin of Daniel J at the DTS. What's DTS? Oh, the Drunken Turkey Show. Oh, yeah, I love those guys. That's not the first time I've heard that. I guess I just got one of those faces. Like I remember one time I think I was like in my mid 20s. I was working at this call center and they had these huge monitors and we could watch sports and shit and they'd play Netflix, you know, just something to keep our eyes busy while we're working away. And this news report broke out of New York. And I guess they caught this serial killer and it was fucked up. He looked just like me. And everybody's like, that guy looks like you. And I was like, dude, that's not funny. That's like a serial killer. And then they posted his face up on the screen. I was like, ah, shit. It's got to be the beard and the cheeks, the puffy cheeks. Amanda says BTK is a criminal who simply turns my stomach. I have no interest in him. I have interest in him because I want to know how to see him coming. This guy killed an entire family, young kids and all, with zero remorse. You can't prepare for somebody like that because the day that somebody like that shows up is the day that your guards are down. You've had a great day at the office. Everything's going smooth. You're not stressed. You're not thinking about nothing. You're passed out on the couch. And here comes the monster, you know, with his elaborate plans and, uh, you know, the evil he wears. And nothing's going to stop him. So if you don't believe in evil in this world or um, good and evil, there's really not an in between. To me, it's like you're either or, and then you're just on the spectrum. Rebecca says he had drug issues also. Are you saying that him and BTK shared that problem with drugs? Or are you just saying that Brian, because I do remember him having like a heroin issue or something. Carol, yes. So somebody that he was in class with, in his criminology class, he started to stalk. Now he knew that this person confided in him and he knew that she would come running to him. And I couldn't help but think about, do you guys remember the Stevenson case in Kentucky? Do you remember them saying that all these items were moved? You know, they said that there were items moved in every room. I mean, how do we know for sure that the items weren't moved prior? Maybe that was part of an issue that was going on. Maybe it was a similar situation. They call the killer over, like, "Hey, something's going on. You were right. Somebody is after me." No, it's me. Surprise, something like that, which is probably not the case. But it did make me think, if you go back and look at the Stevenson case, they talk about items in every room just being slightly moved. Like, what is that all about? Or one item taken from this room and put in the other room, and vice versa. It's just so weird. How do you explain that kind of stuff? Well, listening to this story about Kohberger seems like a good explanation. Maybe somebody was doing that purposefully, um, to create stress, create an opportunity. I don't know. It's just so weird, that case. Diamond says, not sure how true it is, but I heard in other countries the media is not allowed to say the name of a killer. Only the names of victims takes away the "I'll be famous" mentality from murderers. Usually that's the case of these mass shooters, because the mass shooters are people that are usually bullied, or they're looking for um, notoriety. If I go and commit a mass murder, I'm gonna be famous. So what they did in some other countries when that happened is they just did not report the name whatsoever. But I think it's important to know, here in America, this country is supposed to be run by the public, so it's different. You shouldn't be hiding anything from the public here in America. We're free citizens. The government shouldn't be allowed to tell us, hey, you can't know this guy's name, you can't know that. In America, we deserve to know everything. We are the public, the government, the police, everything. They're hired by us to serve us. They're servants. Sometimes we forget that. So I think it's a little different here. Cynthia says, I think the criminal thought he would get away with the crime. I think he did too. Either that, or I don't think he cared. I think he hoped he would, so that he can go commit another crime and add to his legacy. Anna says, a girl said she had one date with Bryan Kohberger. She felt uncomfortable and ended the evening early. He later told her she had good hips for breeding. God. Yeah, that's just what a girl wants to hear. God, your hips are huge. I mean, me personally, I like big hips, but I just don't think that's something you say on a date. CJK says, didn't a friend of his dad try to give Bryan Kohberger life girl advice when he was 12ish, and then later said the kid was weird? Even then, sound familiar, anyone? Yeah, I think I remember that. I don't know if it was his dad or if it was his friend. He said he was trying to give him advice, tell him things weren't as bad as he thought. Uh-oh. What is this? Who's doing this? Oh. Sorry, this is not a political channel. Teresa says, I love Trump, but come on. When these predisposition children are born and raised, there is usually confusion. The child can make sense out of nonsense, then the triggers come, and there you go. Just saying. I can see that. I agree with that. GP says animal lover. I'm one of those guys that's like, I hate animals, get them away from me. And then they're all like laying on my lap. My dad is the same way. He's the one that's like, no, we're not getting any animals, no more animals. And then when we get one, the animal falls in love, with us. It's fucked up. Because they leave so much damn hair everywhere. But they're all good. We got a good bunch here. The new cat is amazing and loves my wife more than me, even though it's supposed to be my cat. Fortunately, my wife is like Ace Ventura, and animals love her. Hey, what's up, Courtney? Good to see you. Jari says, I don't think he wanted to be caught. He wanted to get away with some kills first. I think so too. But I think eventually he knew that part of the plan was to be caught. How do you get famous unless you get caught? I mean, I guess you could always be on the run. Yeah, I agree with that. Tax Cuts asking, what if a genius classmate of his set him up? Yeah, well, if he can get away with it. But when you have somebody like Bryan Kohberger, he didn't plead guilty or not guilty. And he's got that cocky look in his eye. Something's up with him. Amanda says BK didn't want to get caught. He certainly failed at being a criminal, not PhD level work. Well, I don't know if it's PhD level work, but you got to think, what was he studying? What was he looking at? What was he comparing his current situation to? Was he thinking he could do the same things that these people were doing in the 80s and the 90s? I just don't understand. It's almost like, what the hell are you doing? And you're driving, you committed the murder. I wonder if he couldn't control himself. He's doing his weird, like, stalking stuff and testing the waters, looking for weaknesses, at the homes of his targets. And then he just saw an opportunity. I wonder if that's his problem. Compulsion. All right, let's read this other article. We got one more thing to go into, and then we'll just hang out and talk about this case. New evidence shows that Bryan Kohberger may have infiltrated a woman's home months before he allegedly carried out November slayings of 4 University of Idaho students. Kohberger befriended a woman, snuck into her home, and moved items around before convincing her to let him install a video camera system, a recent report by NBC's Dateline says. Now, if you go to Peacock, you can watch that. I don't know if it's the only place. That's the only place I can find it. But I had to upgrade my Peacock just to watch it. And it was worth it. I'll probably never watch it again. But yeah, now that I know that Dateline's on there, I'll probably watch it a little bit more. Kohberger and the woman were both students at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, when he reportedly moved around items in her home to make her feel uneasy and fearful. When the woman asked Kohberger, unaware that he may have been the perpetrator, Kohberger convinced her to install the video security system. Authorities say that Kohberger may have been able to hack the system and view the footage remotely because he knew the woman's Wi-Fi information. I would expect that he orchestrated the whole thing, said retired FBI profiler Greg Cooper, who spoke on the episode of Dateline. Kohberger orchestrated it so that she would come to him. It's another level of having power and control over another person. It's like a puppeteer. The break-in allegations come just days after Kohberger was indicted for the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. The students, all in their 20s, were reportedly sleeping in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho, after a night out when they were gruesomely stabbed to death on the morning of November 13th, 2022. All right, and this is Greg Cooper. He's a cold case investigator like Tim Corbett, and he's kind of breaking down. He's profiling Kohberger. This is a little cut from the Dateline episode. It's really good. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long. Shit ton of commercials, but and that's the only reason that I probably won't watch it again is because I don't like all those commercials. I don't mind a few, maybe one at the beginning, one in the middle, one at the end, whatever. But I mean, we're talking like every 20 minutes, they got a 50-second commercial. It's annoying. And there was one more thing I wanted to talk about with you guys. Oh, here it is. So this is his Pleasant Valley School District security application. That's just going to blow your mind. Crazy. Bryan Kohberger was mad he didn't rank with beautiful, popular young women. He just didn't expect to have 4 victims to kill. I don't know. I just get this feeling like he's not going to answer any of those questions. Man, he just has such a punchable face, man, that guy. Yeah, I think the families are seeking the death penalty. That'd be crazy to see somebody in our day and age face the death penalty by firing squad. That'd be awesome. Hey, Don. Don Piscotti. Hello. I watch you a lot, but I never comment either. Oh, Don. Glad you did today. Thanks for hanging out. I got gray in my beard too. Yeah, it seems like it's getting worse. Drugs and alcohol can lower inhibitions, but research says they don't cause people to do crimes. There is a predisposition in substance to lower inhibitions. I agree with that. I don't think monsters are made. They're there and they're triggered. Now, is it genetic? Is it something that happened at birth? I don't know. Could be something that happens as an infant, maybe some type of abuse that nobody's really aware of. I think abuse at a really young age might be a reason for a lot of these psychopaths. I think something like that could really traumatize a child. Kind of like the child abuse they talk about in Kagan Klein's Phone. The young children, stuff like that. Those victims, those types of victims, um, might go on and create their own victims. It's horrible. Don, get comfortable because it's an awesome channel and Sleuth is amazing, funny, logic, and factual. True Crime Trinity. Thank you, Courtney. You're so sweet. Thanks for hanging out. You've been hanging out for a while too. Give a shout out to Courtney. What's up, Gray Man? I think he was trying to impress. Yeah. If he was communicating with a BTK, he might have been trying to impress him. That's a good point. I never thought of that. Yeah, Tamara, we touched on that briefly. Brian's friend said he used heroin. Thank you, Gail. Yeah, most people are normal. There can't be one without the other, unless you go by the belief that evil is on the same spectrum as each other, that they aren't just two extremes on the same thing. I think that's some hermetic-ish. That is kind of hermetic. But I do think it is that simple. I think there's good and there's bad. That's it. How bad are you going to be? Sometimes you can be really bad and still be a little good. But it's people like Bryan Kohberger that have no good. Look what he did. Look at the harm that he did. I mean, those young people had a bright future. They were doing everything that they needed to do. Their families did everything they needed to do to get them to that position, only for them to be chopped down in their prime. Hey, Glitter. Yeah, you are late. We're probably going to hang out for another 30 minutes, give or take. Beach Fairy says it says a lot too that BK's mood was better, more relaxed after the murders. He clearly got some kind of relief from it. Well, you even have these sickos who think that, you know, people that you kill are going to be your slaves in the afterlife. There's people that believe that. They believe in, you know, Satanism and spells and cursing people and all that shit. Hey, Ann. In my opinion, Bryan Kohberger came to town from PA with the grotesque murder fantasy, and every move he made there in Washington or Idaho was just filling the blanks till crossing that line into reality that night. I agree. It's like these killers evolve, you know. So when you see these people who are into that voyeuristic flashing, where they go out and they flash or they do weird stuff to themselves in public, I think that that's a big sign of something really bad to come. Thank you, Tamara, with a nice super chat. Awesome. He was too stupid for his own good. Yeah, like how can you be so smart and so stupid? What the hell is wrong with you guys? Like, why can't you get obsessed with golf? Why can't you go become like a golf champion? You're gonna go and become a serial killer? Like, something's wrong with you. All right, let's get into this. I'm losing control of the chat. We got too many people in here. Oh, give a shout out to Jessica. Good to see you, Jessica. His problem is wanting to kill. Yeah. Now, did he want to kill? Was he curious about killing? Or did he have an uncontrollable urge? I think there's a difference. Um, yeah, I agree with that. Hopefully we can get all the answers. Yeah, digital. It's almost like their humanity is their enemy. They're, you know, it's almost our fault. We created Brian, you know, and now we're reaping what we sow. I really do think they convince themselves with that kind of crap. Okay, let's take a look at this here. November 10th of 2015. Pleasant Valley School District application for employment. This is a shitty application. School name and location, required curriculum. This is some stuff that Brian put in here. I boxed after school every day at the Jesse Harris Boxing Gym. Maybe somebody can give a call out there to Jesse Harris Boxing Gym and get somebody on the phone for a comment. On 209 near Big Cheese Pizza. What the fuck? Why? See, why would he say that? Like, why didn't you just say you boxed? I boxed after school every day at the Jesse Harrison Boxing Gym at 209 near the Big Cheese Pizza. I used to be a really chubby guy. When it was still open, I also attended a year of the law enforcement program and a year of HVAC. So he's like, I can chase criminals and I can clean out the AC. You let me know what you need. Really, he just wants to run around in the ducks so he can put hidden cameras up in that shit. Bye, Rebecca. Good luck with that. One of BK's Washington neighbors claimed in a news interview that BK's dad asked the man to be a friend to BK because there it is. Yeah. See, I knew it was something to do with the friend because he had a hard time finding friends. This is when the dad helped BK move in. Yep. I remember that. That's when somebody beat his ass. Oh, no. I'm getting two different cases mixed in. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I do remember that. Anthony says, love me some Dateline in 48 hours. First 48? Are you talking about 48 hours or the first 48? That's my shit. You want to learn about investigating? That's a good show right there. Man, they'll track down somebody from nothing. They'll find a soda bottle on the street and your ass is done. Thanks, Rebecca. I don't believe Xana and Ethan were sleeping. Maybe not. Wasn't BK's previous college online? Did I hear that Ramslin had never met Kohberger in person? I don't think so. I think she actually commented on him. And I think he was in her class. So I don't know how he couldn't have met her. But I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I'll find out on the next one. We're going to cover this again probably in a couple days. I want to see what more information comes out about this. Maybe they'll interview the girl. She might be under gag order, but the girl that he was stalking. I would like to hear what her impression is of him and how creeped out she is. She was in class with this guy and he like basically targeted her. Man, she's got to be really traumatized. She might even have PTSD from that. I mean, imagine you learn that the guy who installed your security cameras and was probably plotting to murder you just committed a quadruple homicide. Guarantee she's got some issues. I know I would. Oh, Glitterbean says I just watched the ID program on Jared from Subway. He was a monster. Yeah, I recommend it. I just watched that as well. That was a great story, and it reminded me a lot of Kohberger. And I wouldn't doubt it if Jared wasn't a murderer, honestly. I wouldn't doubt it if he's got some unsolved murders under him. Because when you're sick like he was, and now you got money and power and influence, yeah, you can really do some damage. All right, let's see what else we got here. Work performed. I cut the fish to the specifications of the customer. That's weird. So you made $7.25 cutting fish. He just wanted to cut flesh. I did multiple things here. Mostly the meat wrapping and produce positions. I made sure tags were correct. Prices were matching on the outside shelves. I stocked the shelves with meat products and I unstocked the shipment that came in overnight about 3 or 4 times a week. All right, here it says, state any additional information you feel may be helpful to us in considering your application. He said, I do HVAC with my father, Michael Kohberger. It is a side job here and there that has allowed me to have periods of unemployment. I'm going to need more income now due to the fact I have a lot of responsibilities and utilities. Here it says list professional trade, business, or civil activities office is held, you may exclude memberships which would reveal sex, race, color, religion, national origin, age, ancestry, handicap, or other protected statuses. He put down, I am capable of what is considered pipe work. What the? I can solder, attach pipes, and do some basic HVAC. I learned this from my father. I was the District 11 Skills USA Regional Champion in 2011 for extemporaneous. Hopefully, I said that word right. Speaking, I learned how to do more HVAC at MCTI, and I learned how to patrol and do basic security procedures for my year in law enforcement. I was a boxer, and I am still a runner. I believe dedication and perseverance are the most important skills learned from my activities. I lost 130 pounds at age 15 into age 16 whilst attending school at PVHS and MCTI. I believe this is proof that I have the required dedication to be successful. Crazy. All right, let me see if there's anything else I wanted to go over. We had these a while back. We were able to find these early on. I think this is him requesting some time off from that same job. Human Resources, Dr. John T. Barris. And then they got Bryan Kohberger listed down here. Substitute custodian and substitute courier. Wants to get into the air ducts for some reason. And then here, he's doing security, District 1, February 7th. Yep, I think that's everything I had for you guys. So we can go ahead and go into the discussion now. We'll hang out for another 15 minutes. Yeah, wasn't there somebody that recently was sentenced to death? It wasn't in Washington, but it was somewhere. This guy killed two young girls, and he was begging for the court for mercy. She was like, "Hell no, you're dead." you know, I'm the executioner here. There's no way you're getting away with this. I was like, "Yes, thank you. Kill that son of a bitch." Because I mean, if they're not going to do the death penalty like this, more fathers are going to be out there taking the law into their own hands. You can't just let these people get away with killing young girls, violently, sexually, and you know, you just can't get away with that. And I understand there's a lot of debate about the death penalty, but there's just no way that these guys should be taking up taxpayer money. But it's tough because you got to make sure that they are guilty. I don't know. We just live in a really tough world, and these type of people just make it that much more tougher. We wouldn't have to worry about that, right? Whether you're guilty or not, if people weren't out here killing people. Thanks again, Tamara. Shout out to Arch. Nish Kanish, welcome. Tamara for that big O donation. That's awesome. Thanks, Jari. Yeah, and I was trying to make that point earlier, Beach Fairy. Beach Fairy says, I can't see why an innocent man would ever stand silent when accused of quadruple homicide. I mean, it's just not possible. Your attorneys wouldn't be quiet either. You want the world to know that. This world is run by influence, unfortunately. What? Is that a red Jeep? Wonder how many conspiracies popped out of that. Hey, Chief, what's up? Good to see you. Ann says, I took the liberty of emailing you a link to a new documentary about Lion Sisters case. A lot of that case resonates in ways with Delphi, but not directly related at all. Yeah, I like those kind of stories. They help you understand a little bit. You know, you might find bits and pieces of information that help. No, that's definitely TK's. Definitely. I wonder if they will put a memorial on the lot after they tear down the house. I think they built something really great at the university. And I was shocked to hear that they were going to try to tear down that home. Like, what the hell are you doing? Tear it down after the trial, you idiots. Reminds me of the CVS building. Or no, the CPS, rather. Yeah, I got you, Beach. I'd be fine with these perps just getting life in prison if life in prison really meant that and not just some future activist starting pumping to let the perp loose. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are we supposed to fork over $30,000 a year in taxpayer money for a quadruple murderer of these four beautiful people? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little heartless. I don't know. All right, guys, we got about 5 minutes and then we're out of here. So if you got something to say or anything you want to bring out, make sure you let me know. But I do want to thank you for hanging out. And you know we're going to do it again real soon. Yeah, Beach, that was awful. Those eyes. And why do his eyebrows go into his eyelid? That shit's weird. Yeah, I agree with that, Anne. And I didn't know that it was a journalist who set up Fogel, Jared Fogel, and got him busted. Thank you, Beach Fairy. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Kaylee's dad is like, I can't wait. Like, we're going after him. Like, we're requesting the death penalty. He came. He spoke to a reporter, I think, like about 3 days ago, and said that. He said he picked the wrong family. I would love to see that. If there's going to be a firing squad in our day and age, I really hope it's this son of a bitch right here. I mean, he looks like an alien. Like, the dude don't even look human. Looks like a vampire. Ann says, I have never heard confirmation from a good source that the red streaks on the foundation were actually blood. If they are, I'm surprised police didn't cover them so the public wouldn't see them. Yeah, and I don't know if it is blood. It could be rust. You know, if you got cement right there, you know, you got rebar, you got those cement nails, you got all kinds of shit there that could be just, and it kind of look rusty, rustolium looking. Chief says, nice work on last night's video, Sleuth. I'm about to watch this one too. Thank you. And I appreciate you being around, Chief. You've been around for a long time, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your input. I really do. Cynthia says, thank you, Sleuth, mods, chat. Take care and have a good weekend, everyone. I support that. Yep, you're right. Steve G. He's like, we're pursuing it. We're going to let the prosecutor, we're going to let the entire court know we want the death penalty for this guy. You know, we're not going to back away. We're not going to shy away from it. We're going to pursue it with every fiber of our being. I was like, hell yeah. I would love to see that. And not for the morbid, for any morbid reasons, just for the sheer fact, if they can prove that he committed this murder that shook our country and basically put that small town at a standstill. I mean, this guy's got to go. Marvel says, Sleuth, you're going to have to step it up on the lives and insomnia shows. I sub to everyone but you and Cold Truth. You know, that's a fib. I love you, Marbles. Well, he was a boxer, Mandy. Can we just Photoshop his nose back in place? I don't know. You got to call Cop Facts. He's got people. He's got a guy. Amanda says, I'm anti-death penalty, but some criminals are so terrible it's hard to care one way or the other. You know what? And I am too. You know, two wrongs don't make a right. But at some point, there's got to be some kind of motivation to stop these guys from doing this. And if it's at the cost of their life, I think I can handle that. Because as a father, I would have probably tried to take it into my own hands. So I really wouldn't mind if the state did it for me. The drama mamas. Yeah, me too. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate all you guys for hanging out. I'll see you again in the morning. And members, I'm going to try to put something special together for you guys. If you could, on the way out, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Digi. Thank you, James. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing, becoming a member. If you're part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a message. Thank you, Jessica. Glitterbeam, for me, it's not about justice. There is no justice for these crimes. Yeah, there is no justice. These people are gone. There is absolutely no justice. The only justice is stopping it from ever happening. Thank you, Jane. Beach Fairy, Courtney, Miracle Hearts. Mark, thank you for your participation today. I really appreciate you. Miss K and Cynthia. All right, guys, on that note, I'm out. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Peace out.